73. Two of the winningest teams in the history of UAAP women's volleyball will see action today as the undefeated defending champions UST Tigresses, who are at 3 wins and no losses, will take on the FEU Lady Tamaraws, who are still searching for their first win here in UAAP Season 73. Good afternoon, volleyball fans. I'm Anton Rojas, joined at courtside by a former volleyball herself, Anne Remulla. Good afternoon to you, Anne.
Good afternoon. Another exciting game we're gonna see this afternoon.
Exactly. Both these teams, UST and FEU, saw action last Wednesday. That was December 8th. And UST was on the brink of losing their first game this year against an Adamson team that took advantage of UST's lethargic start. Let's take a look at how that game went by set. And if you look at the sets, Anne, the first 2 sets, Adamson combined for 53 points, while in the last 3 sets, they only had 38 points combined.
That's right. So that's actually very interesting to note na it could be because either masama lang yung laro ng UST, that's why they managed to steal those first 2 sets. But then again, if you look at the last 3, like the point that you made, the score is actually very far.
Exactly. And I remember Eric Tepan, who was covering that game, said that UST and Adamson switched roles. It was UST during the last 3 sets that started to change, and then UST became their old dominant selves, while Adamson was the sluggish team in the last 3 sets.
That's right. But if you take a look at the numbers in that game, you'll see that what really worked for UST was their blocking. They had a stellar performance, scoring 22 points from their blocking as compared to only 8 of Adamson. And, that's not going to be easy for a team like Adamson, who's shorter in terms of height, going up against giants like UST.
And speaking of giants, you're looking at one of the giants of the Tigresses team. That's Micah Ortiz, who started playing volleyball at only 15 years old, a late bloomer for UST. But she was one of the big reasons why the Tigresses came back in that game.
I guess it doesn't matter when you started to play volleyball. What's important is how you really work to improve. And with the likes of Micah Ortiz, who has the height and now the skill to match that, I think, she's a big asset to the team.
And we're taking a look right now at Micah's statistics during that last game against Adamson. She had 20 points, 14 from attacks, and 5 from blocks. And our very own Man Panganiban was able to speak with Micah earlier today, who revealed her exact height.
Okay, so Micah, alam natin maraming gustong makaalam ito. Gaano ka katangkad?
5'10" po.
Okay, so 5'10", a girl standing at 5'10", you had 5 blocks nung game nyo against Adamson, and that is very impressive. Ano yung ginagawa mo? May extra workout ka ba?
Sa training po kasi yan, isa sa mga focus namin is blocking. Kasi yan yung mga nakakascore sa pag mga nakakapuntos yan, blockings. Ayun na po, yung one advantage sa akin, matangkad ako. Kaya mas madali para sa akin mag-block.
Okay, mukha kang matangkad. And now let's just talk about today's game. You will be playing FEU. Puro rookies yun. Paano nyo i-approach yung game na to?
Alam natin lahat na FEU, magagaling din yan sa volleyball. So, pinaghandaan din po namin na yung laro nila. Tapos, ayun, dapat magaling kami sa defense, offense, lahat. Ganun din po, team.
Okay, so good luck later. So, there you have it, guys. Micah Ortiz of the UST Tigresses.
Micah talking about the preparations of UST against FEU, a team that lost 12 of its 14 players in the lineup last year. Let's talk about the Lady Tamaraws, who also played last Wednesday against a UE team. And surprisingly, UE was able to dominate FEU in that game 3-1.
That's right. Maybe a lot of people might be surprised with the performance of FEU right now. But as we mentioned, this lineup is actually composed of 11 rookies. So they are in their rebuilding phase. So I guess they've got nothing to lose but everything to gain in this season. But looking at their score for that game, 4 sets naman siya. They managed to steal the 3rd set to at least extend it to a 4-set match.
And you were looking at Micah Morada, who did not start that game. I talked to her right before this matchup today, and she said that she's still struggling to get back into playing shape after taking a year of not playing. She has a strained muscle on her left leg. But she says she's ready to go today. Let's take a look at the other statistics of that game against UE last Wednesday.
Well, I guess what's interesting to note in the numbers for that game was the fact that they managed to keep it tied with UE in terms of all the skills, except for the number of errors. They actually committed 33 points. So imagine just giving away those 33 points coming from their errors.
And one of those players in the FEU, lineup, one of the 11 rookies that stepped up in that game despite the loss. She was a key contributor, as you can see here, Kathleen Magsumbol.
That's right. Kathleen Magsumbol, of course, in her off-season tournaments, I've seen this girl play. And one thing that I noticed with her is the fact that she's very aggressive when it comes to playing on court. And I guess that's why in that game, she was one of the key contributors, scoring 11 points, 9 from attacks and 2 from her blocks.
And we know that FEU, along with Kathleen Magsumbol, will have a daunting task going up against UST, a team that has not lost this year and the defending champions. Earlier today, she had a chat with our very own Nico Ramos. Let's listen to that conversation.
Kat, during your last game, impressive performance galing sa'yo, 11 points on 9 attacks. Would you say na mas komportable ka na ngayon playing in the UAAP?
Oo. Lahat kami. Halos rookie kami lahat. Kaya sa UAAP kasi marami yung naglalaban-laban for Rookie of the Year. Halos sa lahat sa team namin, halos rookie. Kaya sa team namin, parang lahat kami, kinakaya namin. Kahit rookie kami.
You mentioned your team, no? Not the best of starts, obviously. 0-3 the first few games. Pero sinabi mo nga, lumalaban kayo. Ano yung outlook niyo? What's your mentality papasok dito sa mga next few games? Especially this one against UST.
Kinakaya namin lahat ng ngayon pa sa UST laban namin. Parang kahit 3 talo na kami, ngayon pa UST, parang kahit down na kami, pinipilit namin umangat para manalo naman kami sa susunod ngayong UST na to.
And there you go. We'll see if her prediction comes true. Kathleen Magsumbol from the FEU Tamaras.
Going back to the last victory of FEU against UST, that was 2 seasons ago in the Final Four. That was the last time FEU actually registered a victory over UST in the UAAP. So can they break that streak today? We shall find out when we come back. It is the showdown between the UST Tigresses and the Far Eastern University Lady Tamaraws. Keep it right here on Studio 23.